Hello and welcome to Baatchit with Cafemutual. I'm Suyal Chagla and today I'm joined by Radhika Gupta, CEO of Edelweiss Mutual Fund. Ms. Gupta, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And how are you? How are you today at Cafemutual SIF Summit? It's the first SIF Summit done in India. Are you excited to meet the distributor audience? And you will be speaking at your session as well. How are you feeling?
So I'm super excited. I'm very glad you've done this summit. I've heard the hall is full. There are 250 people. I was pleasantly surprised to know quite a few of them have come from Pan India. And I think it's amazing that you're doing a summit on this topic at a time when this is a topic that people really need education on. So I'm very excited to see the large community that's here, and this is genuine education that's happening. So I'm very excited to see it and support it.
So as we know, Edelweiss Mutual Fund is one of the biggest players in the SIF industry. And a lot of distributors can sometimes find the complexity of SIF to be hurdle. So I wanted to ask, what are some trends in the SIF industry happening right now that you can explain to distributors?
So I think, there's a lot of mystery around SIF, a lot of myths around what an SIF can do, what an SIF cannot do. I'm going to clarify some of those in my talks. But I think distributors really need to focus on getting educated. They need to focus on demystifying the word, something like derivatives, and figuring out finally what does this do for the customer, understanding risk return, and really making their own skills sharper.
Understood. And a lot of distributors find it difficult to explain these concepts, such as shorting to clients.
Yeah.
So what are some ways that they can simplify it for their client base to understand and hence boost their SIF profile?
Yeah, so I think they have to look at SIF products not in terms of, there are two ways you can look at a car. One is what does it give to the consumer, and second is what goes into the engineering. Finally, as a user of a car, I don't care what goes into the engineering. Right. I care whether I get better mileage, or do I get luxury, or do I buy brand. So I think they should focus on the consumer use case. And I'm going to talk about this in my talk, but really, if there are derivatives, what can be derivatives used for?
Right.
That can help the consumer.
Okay. Another question I have is there are currently 4 types of SIF. As we know, we have equity, then we have equity X top 100, we have hybrid, and we have asset allocator. Which SIF should a distributor, how should they recommend it to their clients? How should they decide which SIF to recommend to their clients?
So I think they have to look at each SIF individually and see what need it solves for the consumer and what the risk return profile is. The challenge is, unlike mutual funds where products are fairly homogeneous, even across categories like large versus mid, and within mid, absolutely. Even in a category like hybrid long short, there's so many nuances and so many differences. So I think they actually have to go into the plumbing and see what does this do. Now, a conservative investor who's looking for a arbitrage plus solution might be better off in a hybrid, versus an aggressive investor who's looking at a SMID replacement might actually be better off in a more aggressive X top 100. So it really depends on what the customer's asset allocation is and where this fits into the asset allocation.
Understood. Another question I have is, right now there are about 6,000 SIF distributors.
Yeah.
In the next 5 years, where do you see that number reaching? You know, where we have 2 lakh mutual fund distributors, what percentage of that can be converted into SIF distributors?
I would say a larger number than we expect. I think 25,000 odd, 25 to 30,000 odd over the next few years should become SIF distributors, because keep in mind, this is not AIF PMS where the ticket size is 1 crore. This is finally something where the ticket size is 10 lakhs, which really, and if you start splitting into multiple SIFs, so say Altiva, then the ticket size comes down further. But really you're talking about a consumer who has a net worth of 1 crore. Now that is a lot of people.
Understood. And my final question is regarding how SIF can go forward for Edelweiss. We know Edelweiss is one of the top players in SIF, but what's next?
What are SIFs? Of course, we actually have our second launch coming up in May. Our first, Aldiva's first product, which was the conservative hybrid one, has of course been immensely successful, and we're grateful for all that up. We intend to launch in the X Top 100 category. I'll talk about that again in May. And we will do multiple other products. But our approach is a little different from our mutual fund business. We think of this as a quasi-hedge fund business. So slow to launch, very clear on capability, very clear on proposition, very clear on risk return. And I think at least in the equity and hybrid categories, we will have most of them, but it could take a year or two. I know people keep asking me, when are you launching more? When are you launching more? Our real focus is expertise, management, and delivering a good outcome to consumers.
All right, well understood. And thank you for joining
Thank
me
you.
today. This has been Baatchit with Cafemutual, and we'll see you next time with many more leaders of the industry. Bye.